Well, hello everybody. It's Brother Todd with your Victory Minute, and I hope y'all having a good day. Running a little late getting this and done this morning. Been kind of busy today, and I thought I'm gonna walk out there and enjoy some of that coolness, and that's what I'm out here doing. I'm standing out here watching this north wind blow, and hopefully it won't go to blowing so hard that you can't hear here in a minute. But just wanted to feel it a little bit, enjoy it. Kind of let you know summer's breaking and things are moving. Moving's what was got in my head. I look at this camera that I film these things in, and I have to watch all of them after I make them. Make sure I didn't say something wrong or do something weird, say something crazy. But anyhow, I get to noticing when I'm watching them that how much I look like my granddaddy, my mom's dad, who I call Papa. And even like the way I do my hands when I talk, these are all his mannerisms. Rubbing my eyes, my ears when I'm talking, looking off when I'm kind of thinking, doing my hand like that even. It's all looks just like him. My ears are big, like both sides of my family. I got a big old hook nose. And I think, boy, you're moving. I was doing Bible reading yesterday. If you hadn't heard, that's coming out today. It's called Pathways. You'll see it. It's a little screen. It says Pathways. It says Bible reading with Brother Todd on it. Anyway, it'll come out today. I got the book of John introduced and the first chapter. We'll have a good time with it. But anyway, I turned to the side. And when I did, I recognized that I'm losing my hair here in the back. My hair is going out the same way my granddaddy's did. I mean, I'm even balding like he did. Every now and then, I didn't realize I go so much. And he used to do that stuff. And I didn't even realize I did that when I was talking until I started making these videos. He said, "Preacher, what are you talking about?" I'm just talking about the fact that just like this old north wind that's picking up right now, it lets you know you're moving. Everything's still green right now. It's still green, but it ain't going to stay that way. It ain't going to stay that way because winter's coming. And you think you live a certain way and what you look like is what you look like, but you're not. You're moving. Even right now, it's hard for me not to. I'm supposed to look over here to this little camera, but I tend to look over here to the side sometime, and you think, man, what happened to your head? And I used to have hair down to here. It just changes. It's moving. Years ago, let's see if I can get this thing moved. I know that wind's going to blow y'all off. Get here behind my truck a second. Years ago, one of my cousins took all our Christmas movies from my family. And anyhow, they took them off of the old films we used to use. And let's see if I can get this thing to lighten me up a little bit. Anyway, the old 8mm, whatever they were. And trying to lighten it up for you, so they put them on VHS tapes, and then I think they moved them now to digital or whatever. Anyway, there was some there when I was young, and the kids, of course, they're in there. Mason's probably about 16, 17, high school. He's junior or senior. And there's pictures of me when I was his age, and I'm sitting over there and got my leather jacket on and all that stuff, how kids will do. And anyway, he come up to me. He said, "Dad." I said, "What?" He said, "Man, you used to be cool." I laughed. Then he looked at me and said, "What happened?" I said, "Boy, you happened. That's what happened to my coolness, right?" I mean, life come on. It changes. And I was thinking about all that, and I got to thinking about 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Years ago now. I don't remember what I was dealing with, but I probably made allusion to it. Illusion. I just stuck with that word. I don't think I'm saying it right. Anyway, to the fact of a lot of things, I've seen in ministry and in life, and you just don't always have the answers. I don't know how many times I've driven to hospitals 2:00 in the morning. I say, "Oh Lord, how am I going to help these people? What's the answers? You just don't have them." And I remember I was reading along there one day, and somebody wanted me to use in a funeral 1 Corinthians chapter 13. That's the chapter that talks so much about love. There's always a part, you get down past the part that's most known in that chapter before you get to now abides faith, hope, and love, these three, where Paul kind of talks about some stuff there, and I always had trouble putting it all together with what he was saying. I mean, it makes sense, but I always tried to separate it from what he'd been talking about. There comes John Copeland in the big old truck. And anyhow, verse 9 jumped off the page at me. Now we know in part, so we prophesy in part, so we'll speak in part. And it let me know something. Paul was telling us, we don't know it all. But the things we do know, we can be sure of. The things we do know, we can be sure of enough to talk about them. And then he starts talking about looking through a glass darkly, and when he was a boy, and now he's become a man, and that kind of stuff. You think, man, Paul, what are you talking about? Well, he's talking about moving. He's talking about moving. You say, preacher, you come out talking about the north wind and when you was young and how your head's all getting old. And what you trying to tell me today? I'm trying to tell you you're moving. I ain't the 17-year-old kid standing there in a leather jacket anymore. This summer is done. Oh, there'll be some warm days, but summer itself's over. Springs come, springs went. Summers come, summers went. And you're moving. And you got to be sensitive to the fact that you're moving, and you got to be sensitive to the time that you're in. Had an old man, a preacher one time, preached a service to a bunch of preachers. And he preached the message about the season of life, and in particular with us, he was talking about the season of ministry. And he asked the question, he said, how many of y'all would be happy to live 84 years? And most people nodded their head. And he said, well, if that's fine with you, take it and divide your age by 7. So you do. And at the time I was about 28. And he said, so what number you got? Make that the month of the year. Of course, in my case, it was about 4. And he said, well, so he kind of went on, well, you're in the spring of life. And then, depending on where you were, if you was 49, you was in July. Makes sense. You're in the summer. And I've been surprised at how fast I've moved from spring to summer. And as a man, I can sit here now and watch the fall. If the Lord gives me life and ability, you recognize the time you're in, but you have to recognize you're moving. If you don't recognize the fact you're moving, the devil will trick you into thinking you got plenty of time. You just don't know what a day will bring forth. Like I tell people, I buried folks from pre-born to about 106, 107. I don't know where you're going to find yourself in there, but you're further down the road than you were this morning. You're moving. Can you watch them babies and see how they're growing and recognize the fact that you're moving? Can I ask you these 2 questions? Are you ready for where you're going? And do you like the direction you're taking? And if you ain't happy with the way you're going and you're not sure about where you're going, then you better get ready. And you can do something about where you're headed. You ain't got to stay on the same track. Say, but Brother Todd, this is the way I was brought up. Yep, you can change that. Well, you don't understand. I've been through. Hey, man, I'm not here to diminish hurt you've been through, but I'm gonna tell you something about the Lord. He won't waste a hurt. Everything about you, your shape, your a low acronym, your spiritual gifts, your heart, your abilities, your personality, your experiences, all of them come together, make you shape. The main thing is that you recognize that your shape is there for you to go accomplish something. If you ain't ready for eternity, you need to get there. Only a fool knows that he's going on a journey and doesn't get ready for it. And if God's speaking to your heart, it's time to get saved. It's time to change. It's time to turn. It's not time to walk in the same old rut. It's not time to be in the same footprints. You know, you say, Brother Todd, I'm acting just like my dad or my mom did. Well, if you like the way they were going, that's fine. If you didn't like the way they were going, then do something different. But you better get to doing it. You ain't not gonna see nothing tomorrow. You don't do something about it today. Now that's just a reality. So recognize you're moving. Don't just look around at this cold weather and think, oh well, it's just nice. Man, learn something from it. Summer's about to give way to fall. And fall will give way to winter, and the year will be done. And you and I, friend, are walking the same places. Those y'all younger than me, there was a day I looked just like you, walked like you, talked like you, thought like you, and then you move. And I talked to Brother Fred Heath, our seniors pastor today, one of our care pastors. He'd been preaching about 65 years. He's in his middle 80s. And I guarantee if he sees this, he'll say, Todd, you got no idea about where you're going. You got no idea about what old age is, right? I talk about how old I am all the time. And I got my mother-in-law lives with me. She's almost 90. My grandmother was sitting in the house last night eating with me. She's 93, 94, 93. And what are they doing? They're moving. They're moving. So get to recognizing you're moving and get to doing something about where you're going. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.